Welcome to week 5, Monday. Today we're going to focus on your digital presence. And I say digital presence and not social media because social media is a very small aspect of your digital presence. So you might be getting results, people might be finding you through some other website, some third-party website that focuses on what you do. So if you have a vegan cafe or a cafe is focused on local produce, that's the sort of customer base, that's your clientele that will be looking for you through that medium. So if that's what's happening for you, you need to find out what you need to do to become a #1 result for that website. If it's Google, which most cafes are, then you need to up your game in the Google presence. You might think you've got a good Google following, but however good you think it is, it needs to be better. You need to get more reviews, more results, and you need to keep on working at that because everyone else is working at it too. So the best way to do that is to ask for reviews. It's a bit of a no-brainer, but every time somebody has a good meal or a good coffee, just go up to them and say, can I get a Google review, or if you offer them something in return. But you need to go through today's workbook and just follow the steps that Google's advised. And if it's a third-party website where most of your customers are coming from, find out from them what you need to do to become your #1 search result on that platform, okay? Good luck, and I will see you tomorrow. All right, week 5, Tuesday. Given that there's so much work involved to get your Google presence sorted, we decided to spend an extra day on that. So today we're going to go back and look at everything that you've done. You probably didn't finish it last night, and there's also probably a couple of other things you can do, like adding in your menu, getting some more photographs on there, making sure that there's a proper map and an indication of where you actually are so people can find you. But go through everything that you worked on yesterday, make sure that everything is in order, and maybe throw a couple extra photos on there. Respond to some of those reviews that are on there, that's always good. But an extra day is needed on this, so spend another half an hour to an hour on this today if you can. Okay, and I will see you tomorrow. All right, week 3, Wednesday. Today we're going to focus a little bit more on your demographic using your digital presence. I keep on talking about how important your demographic is, and this is just another aspect we're going to try and hone in on a little bit more specifically. So if your demographic is families or the elderly, then social media might be your digital platform of choice. That's how they're going to find you the best. If it's office workers and tradies, then maybe something like Google or one of the websites I mentioned yesterday, something like some food review website or a local information center. That might be the best way to go. But think about how your demographic uses specifically to find you, and now that you know that, then we're just going to spend a half an hour or so today going through the workbook to try and figure out what else you can do to try and improve that specific digital presence for your demographic. Okay, have a look at the workbook and I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, week 5, Thursday. Today we're going to find out what else we can do to branch out for your particular demographic. So we're going to look at some other avenues. So you might have focused in on some certain websites or some certain social media according to a demographic, but I still feel like there's going to be things you're going to be missing out on. There's going to be customers out there that use a different platform, and what else can you do to try and branch out for them? So go through the workbook. There's a couple of checklists you need to work on here to try and figure out what else you can do to try and catch those last few customers that you might have missed in the first round of social media or Google or websites or any other digital platform that you've gone through that you've worked on this week so far. So go through the workbook and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay, week 5, Friday. Today we're going to focus on reciprocity. It's one of the most powerful human nature driving forces. Every time I've donated or I've seen other cafes donate something to a local charity or an organisation, it's always come back tenfold. It's absolutely incredible. So today we're going to focus on what we can do to give back. What other organisations, schools, Rotary clubs, youth groups, anything that you can think about that's mainly focusing on your demographic as well. So if your local demographic is elderly, you might want to look at Rotary clubs or bowling clubs or some other organisation, maybe local gardening groups or something. If it's families, then you look at the schools. If it's tradies, then maybe footy clubs or sporting organisations, but something focused for your demographic. And when you donate, they'll usually mention your name, they'll usually have a raffle, and they'll mention your cafe of some sort. But you've got to start thinking about what you can donate. It doesn't have to be huge amounts either, just like a bag of coffee or a food voucher or something. Every little bit counts, and every little bit gets your name out there. So go through the checklist, write a list of all the local organisations and what will specifically be able to fit into your demographic, and you will see whatever you donate, I can guarantee you it will come back several times over. Okay, go through the workbook and I'll talk to you next week. All right, welcome to week 5, promotion. This is where we look at getting your brand out there and getting it known by more people, because it doesn't matter how good your cafe, you could have the best cafe in the world, but if no one knows who you are and where to find you, then all the work we've done for the last 4 or 5 weeks is going to be for nothing. So it's not the best cafe that works, it's not the best business that works, it's the most known that works. And the best example of that might be, have you ever been to a food court and you've seen all these different restaurants and cafes from all over the world selling wonderful food, and there's always a queue at the McDonald's. McDonald's is probably the best example of not how good it is or how cheap it is, but how well known it is. And what we're going to work at this week is not only to promote who you are, but it's to promote what you do, because people will want to know your menu before they even step in the door. And that's the sort of thing that we get with these fast food chains. You know what you want, and then when you see that sign, that's where you're going to go to the place, because you just know it's familiarity. So we're going to breed that sort of familiarity and awareness in your customer base and then try and branch out from there. So let's get stuck into it, and I'll see you on day 1 Monday.